I don't know what's gotten into him, but Bryce Young has been playing some of the best football in his career since he's returned from the bench. We know those first 2 weeks of the season, he looked like a rookie all over again. He was making mistakes that he didn't even make his rookie year. And so things just felt like they were moving too fast. The best thing that happened to him was getting benched, it feels like in hindsight. And it just kind of allowed things to slow down and for him to take a break because it felt like it at least stopped the bleeding. I think some of the issues with Bryce Young are his mechanics, his footwork. Things can be a little bit scattered, so it's going to bring some inconsistencies. Those are issues that I think that are going to take an offseason for him to really work on and perfect. To see the change from earlier in the season to now is really hard to explain. But in this video, we're going to go into the film room to look at the changes and compare some of the plays from earlier in the year to now to see how much growth and improvement there has been. But if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe button. My name is Aaron Duncan. I do recap and analysis of the Panthers, but film breakdowns like this, I also do it on my Patreon. So if you want extra Panthers content and draft content, check out that Patreon as well. But Bryce Young today, it's just amazing to see being able to move the sticks consistently, look very, very confident. Look, we played against Steve Spagnuolo, one of the heavier blitzing and complicated defensive coordinators in the league, and he looked the most confident he's ever looked. I don't know if he's just a big game guy and he just steps up to the occasion, but that's exactly what happened. This past game against the Kansas City Chiefs had a career high according to PFF as a passing grade. He had 5 big time throws, which is far and beyond his highest total in a game in terms of those big time throws, and really, really delivered for the team. And you can say what you want. The stats from Next Gen Stats are Bryce Young and the Panthers scored on 75% of their drives. To me, that's going toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes because that's only happened 3 times in the Andy Reid era with the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, 3 times that has happened. So Bryce Young is in rare company in terms of being able to lead a team that can go down the field and continuously score and go back and forth. Obviously, we know the defense kind of let them down and gave up that last second scramble and field goal, but to be able to go back and forth with Mahomes, like I said, the big question that many people have when they're coming out in the draft, do you have a guy that can go toe-to-toe with the elites like Patrick Mahomes? Because that's the guys you're going to have to go through to win a Super Bowl. Bryce Young made his case to say that he is that type of guy, and the numbers with that 75% scoring effort kind of support that saying. So let's go ahead and look at the film. So let's go back in the good old time machine back to week 2. And this was an interception by Bryce Young. He was targeting Deontay Johnson in the slot. Now, we can debate on what happens when you target Deontay Johnson at times because we saw Andy Dalton have his struggles with Deontay as well. But anyway, this is an interception by here. There's going to be a dig route by Deontay Johnson. And just watch the difference here. I want to compare this to where he's at now. Here, you see the mistakes that he made. He's going to stare down Deontay. He tries to anticipate it, and Deontay and him are on the same page. Ends up being the pick. The safety breaks downhill on it. You can see the safety sees him staring and knows the tendencies and sees all that room. And look at him. He's seeing that he's coming around that corner. Deontay doesn't run the greatest route, but Bryce is staring him down. He leads him a little bit too far inside. Deontay doesn't run through it and ends up getting picked off. You need Deontay to run through it at least to give him a chance. A lot of traffic, ends up going to a touchdown. A pick. That pick is on Bryce Young. He stares it down. Safety makes easy work of it. Let's look at it from the other screen. You can see Bryce's eyes and him staring at the target. Look, he's staring at Deontay. Remember they talked about Deontay being the starting point, so everybody knows that. You're staring at him. You see him in the slot. Boom. Bryce tries to release it. Safety drives on it, undercuts it before Deontay. Boom. He doesn't read the depth of the safety enough, and the anticipation, they're not on the same page, ends up being a pick. All right, so let's fast forward to the season. The most recent games versus the Chiefs, you have the same scenario. You're going to have David Moore in the position in the slot instead of Deontay Johnson, and you're going to work the same concept. You're going to be a dig route going across the middle. You're going to have that safety there, and look, similar sense, they're going to be underneath defender here waiting for that dig, and you can see the safety over the top as well. A lot more space and opening here, and Bryce reads it a lot better. He ends up getting it there in time before the safety can undercut it, puts it right on the receiver instead of anticipating and trying to lead him. He puts it right on him instead. A lot more accurate of a throw, knowing that you have to put it right on the guy and drive it in there versus trying to anticipate it. And this is a pitch and catch, move the sticks. Now let's watch his eyes from the other angle just to see that how much progress he's made in between, because he's not going to stare it down the whole time. He's going to look to the opposite side of the field. Watch the snap. Bryce is halfway looking the other way. You can see his eyes halfway looking the other way. But obviously he comes back, and he comes back when he's ready to throw, drives it, puts it right on him instead of leading him. Look, the safety, if he had let him, the safety would have beat him to the spot and did it. But David Moore ran through it. He put it right on his chest. David Moore actually sails out and puts his body on the line instead of just kind of half button the route, and ends up converting pitch and catch. Like I said, you could just see Bryce improving on reading the depth of the safety and not allowing him to drive on it. He looks away to kind of hold the safety a little bit more. And look at all that space there. He drives it on him instead of leading him, and then move the sticks with pitch and catch. I love seeing the progress and comparing similar scenarios from earlier in the year to currently, and just see the progress. All right, let's go back to week 1, man. There's going to be a little bit of pressure and traffic in the pocket, and Bryce Young, being a smaller guy, some of that stuff can affect him sometimes. He has to be able to stand tall and deliver from the pocket. This time, there's a little bit of heat. Yeah, kind of, I guess, a miscommunication, but he sails the ball when aiming for Deontay, and it turns into an interception. But look, you can see kind of as Jatavian Sanders comes across the formation, he gets pushed into the backfield. Bryce Young can probably feel that pressure just a little bit as the bull rush comes, and he throws a little bit of a fadeaway, sails the ball, and it was just a horrible start to the season. But like I said, we're looking from the other angle just to see the pressure that might have made him a bit uncomfortable and forced him to sell this pass. A little bit too high. They ended up being a pick. You can see, boom, look, Jatavian Sanders, boom. And it shouldn't have affected him, but you have to feel like maybe the pocket kind of closing on him might have affected him. And he throws it. It's sailed. This is an inaccurate ball. And across the middle, if you make those mistakes, tips and overthrows are going to many times turn into a turnover. Fast forward to last week, you're going to get pressure here as well. That's going to be in his face, but he's going to stand in here on the same crossing route, deliver with perfect touch, high enough to get over the defender, but able to get it up and down before the defender can get there. Look, the underneath guy, he's able to get it over him, but drops it in there enough, accurate with pressure in his face. Look, Chuba tries to sell out, but he gets slammed back into Bryce's lap. Bryce also gets tagged a little bit when he throws, and he still stands tall, stands strong, and delivers. Doesn't even feel or see that pressure. He delivers and throws a dot that, he layered it perfectly. Enough touch, but enough zip. Enough touch to get over the underneath defender, but enough zip to get down in time for him to catch, move the sticks, and protect himself. Watch the pressure come into the pocket. Boom, Chuba gets thrown back. Look, right there in front of Bryce. Less than a yard in front of Bryce. He's got to be able to follow through and stuff. He does follow through, gets hit, still is able to deliver. It's just a difference, man. He's hanging, he's playing confident. He's trusting the protection. He's trusting the receivers. He's hanging in there and making plays when the pocket isn't necessarily perfectly clean. It can be a little bit dirty, and he's still been delivering. But I think one of the biggest areas of growth that Bryce Young has seen is his ability to throw the ball down the field. And if you look at the passing grades for PFF in terms of passing depth, in terms of deep passing, aka 20 plus yards down the field, since Bryce Young has returned to the starting lineup, he is the #1 graded passer at a grade of 98.6 over these last 5 weeks. Yes, 98.6, and credited with 8 big time throws. And there's a lot of people that had question marks about Bryce Young's ability to push the ball down the field after his struggles as a rookie and even earlier this year. But to see this grade, it's a beautiful thing to see. Let's look at another comparative example from earlier in the year to currently. Now, earlier in the year, this is in some garbage time against the Saints, but they're still playing pressed up man coverage. He has single coverage down at the bottom with Xavier Legette. This is week 1, and he's going to take a shot down the field, but he wasn't really keeping the ball in play. Very, very kind of is timid in terms of his throws and not dropping them in the bucket, overthrowing him, and he puts it out of bounds. It's not even in play. You'll see how it drops from this tight angle view, but I don't know what it was, because the mechanics, they're going to be the mechanics. They are what they are right now, but just the downfield accuracy, just not on the same page. As you can see here, he tries to lay it out. It's out of bounds. It's down the sideline, not even giving the guy a chance to make a play on it. But let's fast forward to this past game versus the Chiefs, and he's going to give Legette a chance again with press man coverage down the sideline, and Legette drops it right in the bucket. Legette can't really help him out, but the accuracy, man, the accuracy down the field has been a huge difference. Seeing the 1-on-1 coverage, making these trust throws, the pocket's clean, he lets it go. Look where that location is, where it drops. It hits him right in the breadbasket. Look, not out of bounds anymore. Similar placement in terms of where Leggett is compared to the sideline, but this time he keeps it in play, really puts it over the defender's reach, drops in Leggett's bucket, but Leggett can't come up with the catch. But you love to see the trust, the downfield accuracy from Bryce, the ball placement. These are things that we were sold from him coming out of the draft, and he really playing with some confidence now. And like I showed you that grade, one of the highest graded deep ball throwers in the NFL, if not the highest, since he's returned. These are dots that he's dropping down the field, man. So I'm really, really happy about this ball placement, especially taking these shots as well. He wasn't as willing to take these shots as a rookie either, but he's doing it now. He's not as gun shy. I love to see the growth. Let's take another peek at the downfield accuracy. This is just off of play action. Bryce is going to see Xavier Leggett down the field and continue to just be willing to take the shots when he sees the one-on-one, letting the ball go, putting it right in the breadbasket. You can't hand it to him any better than Bryce just did right here, man. This is what you love to see. We have these speedy, big body receivers. Give them a chance. Give him a chance. Drop it in the bucket right there. We making big plays. We screaming down the field, man. I love this new Bryce that's being allowed to push the ball down the field, and he's rewarding Dave Canales for giving him a chance to do it. Coming off of play action, in rhythm, boom, setting up, clean pocket, got time, letting that thing go. Right there where it needs to be, in stride. Leggett makes and secures the catch. I love these downfield connections, man. If we can make defenses defend every blade of grass, it's going to open up so many things for this offense. They're not going to be able to play in the box like it seemed like we had to when we were dinking and dunking earlier with the times that Bryce was in the game. But I think Bryce Young showing what he's been capable of is the biggest. But I think the biggest message for Bryce Young going forward is we've seen what you're capable of going against the Super Bowl champs with a top-notch defensive coordinator and some good defensive players. The next thing that people are going to hold you accountable to is being able to replicate these type of performances on a consistent basis. Yes, you had a career day. Can you do it again? Can you repeat? It's just a fluke because we know what you're capable of. But the difference between being good and being great is coming out every week and doing that, despite knowing that teams are trying to prevent you. They're going to try to hit you, try to knock you around. And look, it's going to be less than ideal circumstances because your defense is not that great. But can you replicate the success that you had? We've seen it. Now, keep doing it. Stay in that vicinity. Stay playing that high level of football. And that's what Panthers fans want to see. And that's what the masses want to see as well. You guys let me know down below in the comments how you feel about Bryce. Do you think he's going to continue to replicate these performances going forward? Do you think we're going to see more of what we saw against the Chiefs? Or is it just an aberration and a blip in the matrix? Let me know how you feel down below. But I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you are subscribed. I'll see you next time.